relies on those individual duels, relies on that mid-control and those battles between it. There's a huge opportunity here for Optic to take this one as well.
Yeah, there's nobody doubting Optic coming into this map. They're going to be confident. They're going to be firing on all cylinders. The question is, can Loud bounce back? And now it's time to find that out. We've already seen the pistol kick off. Yet to see any real skirmishes go down. This drone being very cautious of that smoke, and he might not have spotted them walk through, although evidently that info's made its way into Optic's hands now. Crashy's taken a little bit of a tag, and they've gamble rotated to be Optic making the right call again.
Incredibly good position, but unless it's just wallbanged him straight out initially. Now they're set up and ready to try and use this paranoia to give them that extra space back, but a lot of this now relies on Ye. Luckily, he is someone you can rely on.
Managed to get rid of the recon at least, but with Finesse going down in mid, this is getting scary and none of the shots are hitting. Ye has to do it all. He'll get 2 to finish this off. Like, he put a whole mag into it, though. That's the best part. You saw him spraying away, get tagged from market, get wallbanged. That really wasn't the cleanest of pistols. For Optic, they reset into this. They're going to play an eco. Of course, Ye investing into a Marshall to hopefully get some damage done. And normally you'll see this player be around mid, be skirmishing in this area. In fact, you're seeing Loud be very cautious of just that. But, again, Optic have made the right gamble, Tom. They're on the A site with 4 players. And look at that Marshall up in the top of heaven, waiting for them to peek in through main. And the thing is, if Ye's undisturbed like that, he'll be able to get massive value. More than that, though, is the flash coming through. The dash out. Sadik, though, is left to deal with this. His teammate comes back, and it looks like they've managed to actually deal with that incredibly well.
Just walks into the corner, reloading.
What is going on, man?
Down A.
Oh, there was definitely no finesse in that. Let's put it that way. Already as well, though, we're going to get the investment back in. Yay, not far off of a Blade Storm, so going into the future rounds, even just a couple of kills here could be enough to make him even more dangerous. And he's managed to dodge the early knife, almost predicting where it was going to be placed and if it could take away that ever so valuable dash. But they have been able to slow down whatever initial push was there from Loud.
Cover going out.
For Optic, it comes back to, you know, they start with the shock darts down through main, tickle up a couple of the players, but that's where things are going to end. Eventually, I'm expecting to see that recon from Crashy just come through and be main, clear it out. That's it. Loud don't pick up the pace entirely. These guys are looking to move towards the A site right away, and this is a good call with the numbers thinned down on the side. They've already revealed Marved on the back side. Finesse, though, getting away with a quick kill. Thins out the numbers. It's going to make it easier for Marv, but it's still a pretty tough task. And he'll go down without anything to be said.
Rotation being held as well. They've heard the footsteps of Ye, and he was aware for a second, but Les doesn't manage to capitalize. Not able to get that kill and may not even know that the second player's there. He's very wary of someone coming in on the flank, and in the meantime, there's a battle going on within the site that somewhat makes this fight irrelevant. Sadak, the last one standing to try and hold on here, but Finesse will be the one to put him in the grave. Not bad damage, and with a plant, Loud will have some decent investment going into the next.
Summit online. Ye with a Blade Storm, unlikely to really pop that coming into this round. So we should have a conventional rifle round on our hands.
Again,
the shock.
It seems expected, though. Like, you have players waiting on the edge to almost try and avoid a lot of this utility and avoid the null command. The spray through from Finesse as well is almost just delaying them. The main surprise is 2 players within the back of the site. Now, they're going to spot the first, and they know that Ye's here because he's already managed to find himself a kill, or at least put a player down.
Nothing else to be found by him. Crashies tries to step it up, but is dealt with, and that flash, beautiful. Finesse had nowhere to go. Victor and Marv left with it all to do, and despite that early shock dart, tagging up a bunch of players, doing a whole lot of damage. The stack being on B, 2 players in back site being a surprise for Loud. They managed to overcome every obstacle in this. And I honestly think this comes back to comfort. You see this team, they're not a bad team. They've got the adjustments, they've got the leadership to have some really, really clean execute rounds. The problem was on Fracture, they just could not get a read on how Optic were playing. It was a completely different approach to Valorant in general than what they were ready for. This time around, though, obviously we go back to more of a normal level of Valorant.
They're playing against their own comp.
Well, exactly, right? Yeah, exactly. I didn't even think of that. That's a great point. You are intimately familiar with everything that they can do.
I think his pop flashes in particular is something that, well, it's just something that he does naturally and seems to manage to take a lot of space for it. And we even witnessed it in that round. Just as you said, Finesse had nowhere to go. Like, he's in such a hard spot already, but just leaving him completely blind and without utility makes it nigh on impossible. Again, they're going to go for a blitz strat straight in towards B, and the stack was on the other side of the map this time. They were not expecting them to do this again.
ASPAS making himself a tunnel through to the site. They'll get the control nice and easy. Now on Loud side, they just need to deal with this re-aggression. Actually, Optic pick up the pace quite quickly, moving in towards the site, grabbing themselves a couple of kills. This is getting a little bit worrying now for Loud, as the frags are really swinging Optic's way! Caught with an arrow out, not a chance for good old Sassy. And so Optic...
What just happened?
They take a second round, they get 4 rifles walking out of it. That was unpredictable, let's say.
Completely changed the game.
Yeah, the key thing for Optic in this map seems to be... Oh my god, how many players have pushed up here? ASPAS doesn't get away now, he's naded in the corner, he's trying to stay above it. He'll at least survive a moment longer, but he has no way out, and he's taken down by Victor's aggression. Optic, they will not let these guys feel comfortable. Disruption is the name of the game. That's what I was going for to talk about the previous round, and we got an example right off the bat in this one.
Yeah, it's the same sort of stack-up play that they went for in the previous round, but obviously it wasn't spotted in the last one, so they can just do exactly the same thing again with the rifles, and yeah, they're unrelenting in their pressure. Just straight up pushing them through, making sure that there's no trades because of the paranoia they threw back a little bit later on. And while for Loud, they're still trying to pressure a site that currently has 3 players within it, so getting into it is going to be incredibly difficult.
40 seconds or thereabouts. As you said, 2 players back site. You've got another in the form of Victor up above. His utility's gone. No flashes to play with at least, and Marth is down. Okay, Loud might have a way in. They still need to deal with these players. And the Hunter's Fury comes through for 2. Pancata was in danger of going down to it, and Finesse closes it out instead. It's everything that Optic are doing.
In terms of the information play as well there for Loud, I think they used a 0 point and a dart. In the same place over into A to almost make sure they couldn't shoot both, so they knew the players were there. It's not like they're being reckless. It's not like they're just running into angles blind. No, they're being incredibly safe in their manner of taking that control. And Optic are just disrespecting that. They are fighting alongside it. They also had, I think someone actually shot the knife before it basically took away their abilities, so they were able to just hold on to what they had and use that utility to counter. So yeah, an excellent round for Optic. I would have almost liked to see a pause taken there for Loud, because I think that's one of those rounds, well, in fact back-to-back rounds, where you've been caught by Optic doing something a little bit riskier than maybe they normally would do, and you want to try and almost quell that early, slow things down yourself, and Loud have always been a team that are excellent in their default, so I wouldn't mind seeing them fall back to that.
Oh, Finesse actually got hit by that. His utility's going to be down for now. That could be a big blow, but actually it's just about to come back online. He's not going to have a chance to use it, though. Instead, having to fight these players, panicking to put down the utility and keep them out of spots, and it's working. The shock dart will eventually take him down, but he has already slowed the push, already dealt the damage, and with 15 seconds left, Loud have practically no chance of getting in here. Crashy's ready and waiting. 10 seconds left, and he'll get the final through the smoke, through the wall.
They also then have a Hunter's Fury for an afterplant as well. So I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for them to go for some sort of setup. And already managing to push Ye back out of mid, they're going to take that control very early.
Victor toying with the idea of fighting on short. Didn't spot anybody coming close. Now he'll hold the control. The rest of the team freezing as well. They know no one's outside of A main, or too close at least. 2 players here though. Those nades pretty much countering each other out completely. The utility falls to nothing. The paranoia not going to get them what they wanted. They're being slowed down to try and allow the mid push to come through, but the explosion out of Loud is perfectly timed. They take the space, the duels going their way, and Finesse can't even get out of there. Beautiful.
Yeah, really nice take. Again, Sadak's flashes, I think, left Victor completely blind twice on the way through, and then they combine that with a Hunter's Fury to make sure there's no like cheeky little spots that can be left unclear as they make their way through to the site. Going from the last few rounds that we've seen from Loud, where it has been them getting disrupted, them caught off guard into a set play like that.
When it comes into making these pushes happen, lockdown can be used on the defensive side, and Now starting out, look at Optic. They give them a lot of space. They know that there's probably going to be a knife coming down towards that B side, or at least in the early round somewhere, so they avoid as much as they can.
Bye-bye,
Loud, not so lucky. Finesse. And the turret was watching for it. Oh, Les will even catch him through the smoke. Gorgeous stuff.
They're not quite quick enough. And now they're actually going to use the lockdown off of that because there isn't going to be a counter on the other side. They can opt to try and force the players back. Aggressive push from Ye, though, at least equalizes thing as they make their move. And while they're going to try and do some damage on the way through, in fact, it's the shotgun kill, and Crashies just runs in! He's taken down 3 in a matter of seconds, and Marv shuts things out. Again, it's an aggressive play into the round for Optic.
This is... I'm thinking about it from the perspective of Loud, and it feels like, just like on Fracture, it's one of those devastating rounds. Timeout well called, stop the team from tilting. Honestly, I think that's like primary purpose going into that. Flash up high, Victor with the nade down, so that's time to lay on short. It's accounting for the rotation that's about to come through. They have an alarm bot aggressively placed on middle, and then obviously the turret watching B main. This gives them a lot of control, and now they're set up. They're seeing the players on mid who are starting to creep up short. This is confirming for Optic that they're doing the right thing, playing towards A pretty heavy, but they actually go even heavier. Ye is rotated around to A heaven. 4 players here, and again, Tom, Louder walking right into it.
This is a hard read. Straight off the back of the null command. You can see the lockdown's gone down on the other side of the map, almost to try and like bake them into continuing this push. The fact is, though, they've still managed to get that opener. The corner, it's going to be checked, and well, Victor's managing to get one. Ye is still here, Marved alongside him, combining, but he's now getting spammed out of that corner, having to try and re-aggress and take control. Finesse uses that to make a play. The paranoia so perfect out from him. It leaves Pancada left, and now he's able to use the From the Shadows to make it to the other side. This will likely give him an afterplot, but he's been matched. Marv has done exactly the same thing.
So already here, making his way through the alley, but he's going to just pump the brakes. This is a containment ultimate, knowing now that this player has to be on the site. There's nowhere else they could have gone. Now, FNS already used the lockdown. They got 3 players. An incredibly tough position for Pancada to play from, and Optic are waiting, hoping that he gets impatient and makes a move. Eventually, though, time is going to force them forward. The updraft's out of Ye. He comes up and over the site, clearing out everything. They know that he's on the back. Pancada trying to hold on. He'll get 1, 2, in fact. Pancada has clutched it out. 5-5, that is the round that Loud needed. From the shadows into a plant, into a round win. Ye in a little bit of trouble, he won't have a dash. But that doesn't really matter to Ye. He's gonna stay in this position. 2 seconds left, then he can go for the peek on mid and catch these players, dash on out of there. Starting to take a peek. Feels the space out. This is so smart from Ye. He's already caught 1, looking for a little bit more, but he can't get the reload off on time. Well, I was going to say they concede the control. Marv just stepped out and took another, and that's the numbers still in Optic's favor. They're delaying with the Nano Swarm on B main. The turret already taken down. They're closing in on the site here on the Loud side, and the 1-for-1 trades, but do they know that Crashies is already here?
Now they've managed to catch him out. They know that there's a couple of players here, but Sadak, well, he's got 50 seconds to try and isolate one of these duels. He's still expecting players to be in mid. They were flanked from there earlier in the round, but he's having to take the time to clear it out, and just look at the timing of Marv. It is perfect. He comes up with a triple for the round, and it is so back and forth. Even predicting this next one, I think anyone at home has to flip a coin. Yeah, it is the only way at this point. The only thing I'll look at is Loud's economy, which is feeling pretty weak right now. No ultimates online. ASPAS even had 1 extra orb to play with. That could be the Blade I think
Storm.
They're gonna 5-1.
They probably will, right? You're going to want that upgrade early round for sure. But it comes with its risks.
Wait, and you can see the way that Optic are setting up. They've got Finesse ready to try and peek into B main, and then you've got players on the other side for A as well, as they're looking to try and deny that control. This is a fantastic readout from the other side. Like, they have known that this is going to be battle for. It doesn't necessarily they can do too much about it.
Almost looked like that nade disappeared.
Get out of my
way.
way.
The shocks are in. See what I mean? Taking the risks, right? You manage to get that orb, you get the Blade Storm. ASPAS can barely afford to dash through that utility, probably go down to it. Paranoia for backside, though, is perfect. Crashy's under a lot of pressure right now. This is looking a little bit scary. They're picking up the kills even still. Finesse taken down. They know that Crashy's is in the corner, and he won't be able to get anything more done. The flank again from Ye. He knows he has an opportunity on the player inside of Market. Ooh. More. Still, Sassy goes down. Okay, we're into the 2v2 with less on 11 HP.
They've got to be careful of the man in the site. Pancada already having one hero play in this round, but the weaponry advantage is definitely there at the moment for Optic, just trying to hit the timing on this peak together, but they won't be able to clear that close corner, and they have to almost try and make this move through the smoke. They're going to hear the footsteps running, but it's all left down to Lesbos. Headshot, he can't quite get the last. It will be the half going in favor of Optic. A scrappy one, a back and forth one, and we definitely have a game on our hands.
So far, a better face than what we saw in map number 1, but there's still one hell of a big job in Loud's hands. 2 rounds behind coming into half number 2. Moving on to the defensive side at least, but that's, you know, Optic's attack was crazy last time around. We're starting it out with more aggression out of them. Fighting for middle though, Loud are doing exactly the same, and they blitz through and surprise their opponents, leaving Crashies alone, and he won't get it done. 7-6,
okay.
Pistol round for Loud.
Game on.
Absolutely. You know, you got to look at the pistols so far, though, right? Loud have got that little bit of a boost up when it comes to buy rounds, late rounds. That's where Optic pick up a lot. Ooh, not quite working, not quite going as far up as they wanted. Good pick out of ASPAS. Up against opponents with no shields to play with here. Essentially has an operator to work with, and look at him making it work left, right, and center. 3 kills, make it 4 in the end. Alright, that's how you get away with a Prime Gaming flawless, isn't it? Just ace out the round. Coming into the third round, it can certainly it can be a big game changer, right? If he can find an opening duel, if he can get an orb,
he's running.
He's already going down mid. He's already going down mid. What is this? ASPAS is in their spawn. They're paranoid and running away. This is a scared play, and you can understand why. Optic trying to respawn on the other side. They've already taken the space on B, pushing up close to the spawn. 1 kill at least for less, but now he's under so much pressure. Both sides of the map have been lost here. He can be pushed on from every angle. What? Pancada with a blind shot through the wall. Puts Loud into a pretty winnable position at this point. Trading it back and forth, leaving Finesse alone, and ASPAS will get that done.
That's a ridiculous shot to connect, and yeah, Loud are back online, and they're investing into this round nigh on fully with still plenty in the bank. On the other side, just pistols.
That recon dangerous. ASPAS has to step back, and Ye connects. This is a low buy round for Optic, and now they've got a rifle to potentially recover. In fact, they're right on top of it. Marv grabbing that Vandal now.
Yeah, they still have to be careful. There are so many talented individual players on this Optic roster. Ye being the primary person you have to watch out for, especially with this Marshall in hand. And still, they've got the information that there's still players lurking around mid, and you can see potential re-aggression coming through, or at least looking for information on towards shore. They don't want to give Marv an opportunity to really do anything here, and they have that contact utility ready for when the push comes through.
Sassy's still in position, holding for the walkthrough spawn. He's now going to move and help out on site. Recon ready, waiting for the utility to fade away. In fact, do they think it's a fake? They're starting to move out. Les is even playing on the stairs. And it might just be a fake, because Optic are moving back. They're coming into middle with the spike now, having control over mid. It feels like
30 seconds
split
left
through market a lot of the time, but they're shifting it up completely. Going through Catwalk, where they're going to have a fight up against Sadik, who's been patiently waiting this whole round. He turns away, but then the nade goes down, buying a lot of time.
He's just going to shut the door on them. They're going to have to break this, and the time is ticking for them to make their move. In fact, they've had to run all the way back. The contact being spotted, but they have been able to get the site. Even still, though, the spike is not there. Just look at the amount of time left. They're not even going to be able to make it, and the kill comes through anyway. So it may be a decent round in terms of what they have economically, but they just ran out of time on the clock. Yay, still just managing to farm up kills, and the fact is, him going down there, absolutely fine. Doesn't want to save that Marshall anyway. And also make sure you're not giving them any ultimates for the next round.
Oh, that operator that ASPAS had bought up has been sold in the meantime. Looks like he's going to be playing with the Blade Storm instead, purchasing up a Spectre.
He's going to run that. Is he going to dash straight in to tiles?
That's what I'm thinking, right? If he has the op, I'm expecting slower play, peek around short, but now with a Spectre, with a Blade Storm, it's the dash in, it's the fight over for B main, and it's not going well. The Spectre comes through to save the day at least.
It kind of worked. I guess Sadik is still pushing. I don't think they were expecting the second man to be there, but yeah, it's just tapping heads as they peek him. Every single member falling to this man, and you know what? ASPAS decides, I don't fancy that. I don't want that heat.
Sassy hoped that he could catch them off on the mid peak, but that has not worked either, and ASPAS, I don't know how he's the man alive. The guy who dashes down, misses his whole Blade Storm inside a B connector, and then he's still alive in a 1v3. 70 health to play with, and he might have a glowing gun, but look, this would be one hell of a round to clutch out.
Yeah, they have all the information. Yay, watching is not going to give anything up. Doesn't really have a reason to try and overpeak this one, and almost just trying to waste time, bait him into a swing that he just can't win, and the other two players have got their crossfire in position ready for him to try and make a move. This is just time wasting on the other side of things, and ASPAS, he can't just give up this position.
It actually did work out initially, but the recovery was there from Optic. This time, it's not going to be as easy to make those recoveries happen. You're not going to get them just running into you one by one to take those duels in spawn. Instead, they're going to be waiting to play, especially around this op. Although, ASPAS is instantly countered out from any mid-fights. You've got the smoke, the recon going down. He leaves and concedes the control. Bullets whizzing past his head there.
Yeah, the other scary prospect is that Optic either have ults online or are very, very close. So there is a lot of late-game potential here for Optic that could be devastating. Now, he's not giving up this control for free. Also, the alarm bot has been missed by the shock dart, so that's still going to be in position at least if he is to fall. And he's just seen the corner of his opponent. Not going to be able to get anything for it, though.
I love that clear. Nade for Pizza. Smoke off towards the spawn a second now, and Omen smoke this time instead of the Cloudburst coming through. They've got info on 2 players for short. That's going to keep Loud in a pretty solid stack on A site. 3 players here. ASPAS starting to move, though the operator is left. Sadik able to delay a little bit more time, maybe allow ASPAS to get into position, but I imagine a smoke is coming through. It's a Cloudburst, in fact. Paranoia catches Yay, that's a big mistake. Optic have to slow it down. Yay not able to get the shot, but Marv follows up, cleans it up. Pancata still alive. 2 players in heaven coming in to help. This is starting to get a little ridiculous. Optic have got to find a big play, and they'll get nothing.
Problems that are coming through for Optic, but they can almost pad this up with ults, Mitch.
It's the beautiful thing about conserving them as the time goes on. Obviously, Yay using the Blade Storm, that's just fine, but everybody else having them conserved if they can at least get a foothold in towards the round. Loud's aggression on B is about to net him a whole bunch of information, but it might come through too late. Okay, less good in the corner for 1. The pressure on Pancata. He doesn't stop, continues the aggression, and he'll get another full blinded up. Eventually traded, but look at that. Sadik with the flash, peek him right back out. And when you come in towards this 11-8, having a player popping off like that, having Pancata really finding himself. With that first clutch that he had, he doubled his kills in. He's now almost leading the charge for the team, tying up or close to that of ASPAS' performance.
And he had an ace in one of the eco rounds.
Yeah, great point.
You kind of got, I would almost give it to Pancata at this point, but hey, maybe I'm just a little bit biased.
I like the eco frags. I like this. ASPAS ready for the push from Yay.
Oh,
maybe
no,
not so ready.
No, he's not.
I thought he was.
He was sort of ready, but I guess he slipped the net. Sadik maybe giving some false information based on his position, and because of that, well, we've seen the early trade of the remaining players. We also have a huge opening on this side of the map. In fact, they've already pushed through it. He might not expect it. In fact, there's Crashy with an instant headshot to open up this site. The remaining players, I don't know if they're going to expect this. It's a risk from Finesse, especially considering they're already in a 4 versus 3, but he'll get them some info and now fall back for the afterplan.
Going about as well as they could early round, but you look at Loud, everything they've got to work with. Hunter's Fury going to be conserved for Finesse's lockdown, same thing on the other side with Les having his. And then that actually thins out a lot of Loud's ability to entry in. There's going to be a reaction from Optic. They're going to need to find duels. And with the players tucked on the site the way they are, with Killjoy utility helping them out, oh no, that's not what we wanted. Les is able to take a double. Optic, big mistakes towards the end, leaving it all to Crashies, and although he gets one, it's just not enough. The time, whilst it might be close, I don't think it's that close. The defuse coming through.
I want to see a crazy crowd look at footage from Belo Horizonte.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was like 10,000 Brazilian fans. I would love to have another event in Brazil one day, but hey, to see them out ready, supporting their squad, especially after that first map, and now, again, that's another round that Optic are going to look back at and be like, okay, we never should have lost that.
So we had an immediate smoke coming down from Optic. They're very aware of this short peak in the early round. They discount it with the smoke. Now they look to make their way, I mean, it looked like in towards fighting middle. When smoke faded on short, take a little bit of control there. Crashies need to be very careful. You're revealed up like that, there could easily be a player close to the smoke, but he's managed to avoid being taken down. They'll look to, I think, is this just a B main crunch?
It looks like they're just going to try and walk it. Les is sneaking his way through. This might be a nasty surprise. This is such an off angle, and he's basically just going to swing straight in. He dashes it to the face. Les gets two, and more importantly, he's got so much information for his squad. They're waiting on the outside as well, just to almost play this one as a retake, because, well, you've just lost that many players. You might just back off.
I think it's the right call. The Hunter's Fury put blindly in. This opens the door completely. Finesse can now put down the lockdown, and that's exactly what he does.
Spike planted.
Attack does come through on the mark, so at least they get something for it. And a little bit of time delay isn't going to be the end of the world for Team Loud. They're happy to wait outside of this and push back in. But quite a bit to work with, actually. All of their utility essentially online, thanks to the faster round from Optic. The TP in yields a little bit of information. They don't yet know about Crashies, but he has to go huge on this off angle, and they're smoking him off. His timing needs to be perfect on the way through, and they're even watching. Sassy ready for that play to happen. Marv goes down to the nade. Okay, one for Crashies, but the defuse is underway, and he can't get a wall bang. Pancata was way ahead of that.